Hey guys, and welcome back to today's college basketball pick video. We got the NIT final today between Georgia Tech and TCU, and that's going to be the game that we're talking about and who we think is going to be the better bet against the spread. To get our daily free pick as well as all of our top confidence bets across all major American sports, right now that's the NBA, college basketball, and NHL with the MLB right on the corner. You can head over to our main website, stumpthespread.com. I'll link Stump the Spread down in the video description if you want to go over there and access our daily free play as well as all of our top confidence picks. Really excited to get MLB going next week, and we'll also be making daily pick videos for MLB action as well. So if you're interested in that, definitely stick around and check out those when we start releasing those videos. Also, if you head on over to our channel, you click that subscribe button to get more pick video content, but also grab our daily NBA pick video as well. So heading into this one, we have a matchup here between the ACC and the Big 12 as Georgia Tech takes on TCU. Having a lot of fun watching both of these programs this year in their first seasons under new coaching staffs. Georgia Tech bringing in head coach Pastner over from Memphis, while TCU brought in head coach Jamie Dixon over from what was a great tenure he had back at Pittsburgh. Georgia Tech, not a lot was expected out of this group this year in the ACC, especially how strong the ACC was from top to bottom. But Georgia Tech was able to find their fair share of wins in that very tough conference, and really doing most of their damage on their home court back during league play. But unfortunately for the Yellow Jackets, they didn't close well enough to get over the hump and into the NCAA tournament, and really a weak non-conference slate of results really doomed any chance that Georgia Tech legitimately had at getting into that NCAA tournament. Thus far in the NIT, Georgia Tech, they picked up some early wins against the likes of Indiana and Belmont. And then to get into the semis at MSG, they were able to pick up a nice win on the road against SEC opponent Ole Miss. In the semifinal matchup, Georgia Tech went against 8-seeded CSU Bakersfield, who had a very impressive run up to that point. But Georgia Tech was able to solve CSU Bakersfield's full-court press defense and get a lot of quicker buckets in transition, and that allowed Georgia Tech to build a lead, which became just out of reach there for CSU Bakersfield at the end of the day. Georgia Tech coming into this one with a lot of confidence, and their program headed in a great direction right now under head coach Pastner. Georgia Tech would love to finish things off with a win, but this is going to be the toughest test, arguably, that Georgia Tech has had thus far in the NIT. Maybe you could say their first game against Indiana, but even then that was on their home court with a tremendous amount of support from their home crowd. This is a neutral site setting here at MSG, so also, their game against Ole Miss was pretty tough, but this is going to be another really difficult test here today for the Yellow Jackets going against TCU. And the Horned Frogs, they went just 6-12 overall in the Big 12 this year, but they did play in many highly competitive matchups against a lot of the top teams over there in the Big 12, and they weren't outmatched by any means by any of their opposition really over there in the Big 12. TCU also heading in the right direction right now under head coach Jamie Dixon, and really both of these programs should continue to be on the rise going forward. If either of these teams made the NIT instead of the NCAA tournament next year, it would be a little bit disappointing. This year, both teams probably happy to get in the NIT, and that's part of the reason why both teams have put so much into this tournament in their efforts to get to the finals. Texas Christian, their best first three-round games would have to be their win on the road against Iowa. Very impressive win there for Texas Christian. And then in the semis, TCU looked great against a solid UCF squad. UCF, one of the top teams coming out of the American Athletic Conference, which often gets overlooked. TCU was able to kind of solve that elite UCF defense and do more than enough on the defensive side of the ball themselves to pick up the win in convincing fashion in that matchup. Both of these teams lean more on their defense for success, but Texas Christian brings a much more balanced attack in terms of what they're able to do on both sides of the ball. Georgia Tech heavily reliant on their defense. Their offense is ranked around that 300th in the nation area in terms of their scoring average. Not something that this group can hang their hat on, but they have been much better on the defensive side of the ball, clearly. While Texas Christian, they've shown the ability to be more adaptive to their competition. They can play a defensive game, and they've also shown the ability to play in an up-tempo type of atmosphere. We saw in their last outing, TCU did really well against a defensive-minded UCF squad, and we think that can carry over into this one for Texas Christian, who's actually going against a defensive team that isn't quite as solid defensively, in my opinion, as UCF. And also the edge that TCU brings on the offensive side of the ball will play into their advantage in this matchup. So for this contest, we're going to go ahead and side with the Big 12 and take TCU giving the points as the better bet against the spread. Again, if you guys want our daily free play, as well as all of our top confidence bets across all major American sports, including the NBA, college basketball, NHL, and MLB just around the corner, you can head over to our main website, stumpthespread.com, which I will link down in the video description. And you can also head on over to our channel to get our daily NBA play of the day video as well. So thanks for stepping on in, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.